and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on. I'm awash with this stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavor show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of...
Okay, so imagine this. You're just minding your own business, maybe grabbing a quiet drink at the local village pub, and you start overhearing bits of conversation, seemingly random chats. But if you listen a bit closer, these little remarks, they start weaving together. Suddenly you're hearing about personal problems, power plays, even some really raw family drama. That's exactly where we're taking you today for this deep dive. We've got this audio recording from Thursday's episode of The Archers. It's a great source for just, human interaction and our mission to pull out the surprising details, the subtle stuff, the undercurrents that really show you what village life is like with all its hidden layers. We're trying to get past the obvious plot points here.
Yeah, and what's really effective is how they use the pub setting. It seems so ordinary, right?
Yeah.
But it quickly becomes this place where everyday talk suddenly reveals much deeper conflicts, almost without you noticing. It's quite clever how they reveal character through these normal exchanges.
Okay, let's jump in. It starts with Jazzer. He's a bit worked up about Tracy's upcoming 50th birthday. He's basically wondering, does she want a big party, or should he keep it quiet?
Right, and even this simple thing, this birthday worry, tells you a lot. You get Lillian chiming in, very practical, saying, age is nothing but a number. That's her all over. Meanwhile, Jazzer's also distracted by these auditions for his band. It kind of shows he's maybe not fully focused on the home front, Little details, but they paint a quick picture.
Right. And then, just as they're talking birthdays, Martin walks in, and Lillian asks him, any ideas for Tracy's 50th? And his suggestion, a hot air balloon breakfast in Cappadocia, Turkey, which, he adds, is what he did for his ex-wife Pam's 50th. It feels, incredibly awkward.
Awkward is putting it mildly. And what really lands is Jazzer's question. Just straight out, are you not getting divorced? It just cuts right through Martin's grand idea, forces everyone to face the reality of Martin's situation. And Martin's reaction is quite revealing, too. He admits he spent a huge chunk of change on Pam's trip and now wonders whether it was worth it. Yeah. That tells you so much about where his head's at regarding relationships, money, maybe regret, the cost of these big gestures when things are falling apart.
So, from birthdays and awkward advice, we suddenly shift, big time. We find Justin and Annabelle having this very conspiratorial-looking chat at the pub. Justin's goal is pretty clear. He needs Annabelle on his side for a board vote, and he's pitching this huge idea, this future-proofing legacy dream. He frames it almost like the future of society's survival depends on it. Big words. Big
words indeed. But Annabelle, she's clearly no fool. You can tell she sees right through the flattery. She even says something like she's watched you run rings around the other members of the board. Ouch. So there's definite tension. Justin admits there will be dissenters making noises off, but he really wants that full board support for smooth sailing, as he puts it. Her comment just highlights her savviness and maybe Justin's manipulative side. It shows those power games always bubbling into the surface.
And just woven into all this corporate talk, there's this other little detail about Martin, a bit unexpected. Turns out he started horse riding. Justin mentions his own sore pelvic area after a lesson. It connects to some banter earlier.
Yeah, it's not just a random detail, though, is it? It kind of humanizes Justin for a second, sharing that physical discomfort. But for Martin, taking up something like horse riding right now, well, after his marriage breakdown, it could mean anything, couldn't it? Maybe searching for something new, an escape, trying to reinvent himself, perhaps. It's a small thing, but it grounds the bigger dramas in something relatable, almost funny.
Okay, so the pub's atmosphere, which was shifting between birthdays and business, then takes another sharp turn. Things get really raw. We have Clary just trying to buy some AAA batteries like a totally normal errand, and she runs into Neil.
Exactly. And then Amber arrives, identified as George's Amber, and boom, the whole mood just changes instantly. You can feel it.
It explodes pretty quickly. Amber goes straight for Neil, fiercely defending George, and she hits him with it. You're the one who shot George. Just like that. It's incredibly direct, very charged. And the difference in how they see things is just stark. Amber is convinced Neil and his wife Susan shopped George, that they broke his heart. She says George cannot stand the sight of them, that he's all locked up inside.
And this is where you see that family trauma just spilling out right there in public. It's intense. Neil tries to push back, saying, it wasn't quite as simple as that, and insists he and Susan love him dearly.
But Amber's not having it.
Not at all. She claims George was in tears, and that it's taken me ages to try and put him back together. That language broke his heart, locked up inside. It really shows the depth of the emotional impact on George, or at least how Amber perceives it. His sense of betrayal. Yeah. It's a complete clash of realities. And strangely, amidst all this, there's a mention of dinner chicken and mushroom pie, and the family's no phones at the table rule.
Yeah, like normal life trying to tick along in the background. Even a little sidetrack about carbs and pie crusts. It's almost jarring. So after that explosion, things kind of hang in the air. We check back briefly with Justin and Annabelle. She tells him the board meeting will all go the way you wish. Sort of reassures him. But you still feel Justin's unease, doesn't it? That worry that some people are still out for blood. He might get his smooth sailing, but maybe not without a fight later.
Exactly. And then that ending to the family argument, Neil just leaves. Clearly upset. There's no resolution. Nothing's fixed. It just leaves you with this sense of a really deep rift and how quickly private pain can become a public spectacle. It's quite abrupt.
So, thinking about this whole slice of life, just in one pub, in maybe half an hour of overheard conversations, we've gone from 50th birthday jitters and band auditions to boardroom politics, and then bang, this incredibly intense family feud erupts. It's kind of amazing the range of human stuff churning away under the surface of just people having a drink.
Absolutely. And what's really fascinating is how much comes through in the subtext. It's not just the words, it's the emotion underneath, the history that's clearly there, the tactics people are using. You see how different people in the exact same place can be living in completely different realities with totally different perspectives on the same events. It really shows the density of human interaction, even in mundane settings.
Which leaves us, and you, with something to think about perhaps. When you hear these really strong emotions, these clashing viewpoints like Amber's and Neil's, how often do we really get the full picture behind why someone is so angry, or why they act the way they do? And maybe more importantly, what would it even take for people stuck in such different versions of the truth to ever find common ground? It really makes you think about empathy, doesn't it? And how hard communication can be when conflicts run that deep.
So what are you doing now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just moving mics around.
So what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the arches. Any
Are you what we call Foley then?
Kind of. Yep.
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
Yep. That's the ball bar. That's
this one.
Yep. That's.
Hayley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. No. I mean, it would have been a stretch for them financially, mind, but I just wish there was something practical I could do to help them, Caroline.
I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community at whatever